Let's look at it this way. So there are two ways to look at your success rate. One is to consider how businesses are comfortable with the use of Parcel Single Window as a transition from a paper-based documentation to e-documentation processes. And the other is to consider how the businesses perceive the organization as a solution to their challenges that they would otherwise face with paper-based documentation. So do you feel there is a resistance in terms of businesses accepting Parcel Single Window as a more superior platform in comparison to previous platforms such as VDoc or paper-based documentation processes? And how would you describe the current feedback from the business community in terms of the bottlenecks and delays they face when dealing with multiple government organizations? Further, can you provide some example of instances where Parcel Single Window resolved certain issues in a timely manner that would otherwise be more difficult to resolve if Parcel Single Window did not exist? So, how do you change that in that sense, the ecosystem in that?
Yeah, I mean, single window implementation could not be successful if the business community is not onboarded. And one of the things that we also do whenever we are thinking of a new service or a new feature or a new enhancement in a single window is to do a stakeholders mapping. So almost everything that we do starts with mapping out the stakeholders. And the stakeholders would include not only the government entities, but they also include the private sector, and they also include PSW themselves. So I am also one of the stakeholders in PSW. I also have a certain viewpoint or a certain concern, and this is how we start working. So for the business community, most of the times we understand what the concerns are going to be. It is number one, for example, fear of the unknown. What does digitization mean? Would I be able to handle it? Number two, investments. Would I have to invest in new systems? Would I have to invest in new people with new skill sets? Is it going to increase the cost of doing business for me instead of reducing it? And the third is like comfort level, because we Pakistan still is a country where you just feel more comfortable in going to a government office, meeting a person face to face, especially if you're in this business for a long time. And the concept of sitting behind a screen and getting all your things done without a face to face interaction still seems a little bit alien to many people. But Alhamdulillah, by and large, single window has enjoyed a lot of goodwill and tremendous support from the business community. Some of it is institutional, by the way. The way the single window governance is organized, we have nominees of the Pakistan Business Council and the FPCCI in the board of directors of the single window company. We also have private sector people sitting in the apex body called the Governing Council, that is headed by the Minister of Finance. And then the company itself is in 99.9% private sector hands. So, we understand what could be the real concerns of the business community that could create some kind of resistance. Uh, so, because of this, we have not had a lot of challenges. The other thing is that we take a lot of pains to ensure that the cost of doing business is not increasing because of digitalization. So we are bearing a lot of charges on behalf of the business community, and we are also delivering very fast. So in that case, this business community is looking at the results, and most of them are very happy with the way single window has been delivering. So we have not encountered a lot of resistance. Now, about the feedback is very interesting. We just did a survey about a month back on single windows recognition in the private sector, especially in the business community, and we were surprised to find out that most of the subscribers who were registered on the single window platform did not know single window. And I was like, what is going on? We have like an 80,000 user base, and how can they not know single window? And then we found out that they had registered, but all of the work was being transacted through customs clearing agents. Most of the businesses, if you are the owner of a business, you will not engage into import export directly. You would hire a clearing agent. So when you go to the clearing agent and you get their feedback, then you find out that okay, they are happy, they are saving time, they are saving money, and they have a very good impression of the single window. One certain example you've asked about is certain example where PSW resolved a problem. So I can give you the example of registration with customs. Before single window came in, you needed 22 documents, 5,000 rupees to be paid as a fee over the counter in a bank, and a lot of other formalities that were required to get registered with customs and start importing and exporting using the VBOC platform. You also had to visit the custom house to get your biometrics done and a photograph taken. often you would have to wait in queues. Under the single window system, that whole process has been reduced to just 20 minutes. All we ask is a national tax number, and we electronically verify and validate all your credentials through different integrations with national databases, and you get the ID and you're good to go. You don't even need to go to the custom house for biometric. That can be done at any kiosk that NADRA has provided. And currently, we are in discussions with NADRA to extend the same facility through their app. So even the time that is spent to go on to the kiosk for biometrics can be saved. So I hope that answers your question, Nathan.